UFC 315 just finished with JDM, Jack Della Maddalena, getting it done against Belal Muhammad and becoming the new welterweight champion, which means that is 2 titles. And guys, I don't want to, you know me, I support everyone, but that is 2 titles coming back home to Australia. Absolutely crazy. We're going to talk about the fight. We're going to talk about what's next. We're going to talk about the whole damn thing as we celebrate a crazy moment happening in the UFC. I'll tell you what. Cheers to everybody out there, the whole team, JDM, Craig Jones, and the boys who came up and executed the game plan of a century against a tough Belal Muhammad, who kept coming forward the whole time, who kept throwing punches the whole time, who kept trying to get Jack the whole time. Let's have a look at some of the stats, and a shout out to Sherdog, who do a great job, of course, one of the OGs in the game. And let's get this right. Tristan Crinchfield, good stuff on this one. He did a good article here that kind of encapsulates the craziness of this whole thing. 47 significant body strikes for JDM. 47 significant body strikes for JDM. Are you hearing me correctly, folks? These guys came up with a strategy to take out Belal Muhammad's body, throw kicks, teep kicks. 47 significant strikes for the body. Meanwhile, Muhammad landed 11. JDM also held an 18-2 edge in significant leg strikes, which was one of the key cornerstones of this game plan. I mean, how could you take anything away from that? Did you guys know there was 310 combined strikes landed by JDM and Muhammad in this battle, which puts him in the 4th most welterweight bout promotion history? Isn't that crazy? And I got to say something else here. This performance by JDM was so impressive. Performance by JDM is incredible. And it's not only because of the fact that he was able to stop Belal's takedowns, but because he was able to use those teeps, those leg kicks. He was able to use his striking and weaponize it in a way that Belal was not able to deal with. The exchanges were impressive from JDM. He looked like a completely different fighter compared to the fighter we saw against Gilbert Burns. And he beat a game Belal Muhammad who came forward, would not give up. Now, for everybody out there, first and foremost, that was saying, hey, Belal this, Belal that, you just cannot take away the fact that in this fight, Belal came out. Obviously, things did not go to plan for him. It was partly because he couldn't really implement his grappling early. He just kind of stood there, especially with JDM in the first round. He didn't really even shoot for a takedown. He kind of lost momentum. And then in the second round, he kind of tried, it didn't work out. And then throughout the fight, he just could not figure out a way to deal with JDM. JDM was able to stop all takedowns, keep the momentum, take advantage of moments, and land important, significant shots. And Belal just could not get him up to the fence to control him long enough. Every time he did, JDM got out. Every time there was a potential takedown, JDM was able to reverse it. Basically, that was the story of the fight. And Belal Muhammad, while he pushed the action, while he was in JDM's face, JDM just kept making him pay. It was unbelievable. You cannot compare the JDM that we saw today to the JDM that fought against Gilbert Burns. Now, I spoke about this a little bit on the show about the fact that JDM is a dark horse. We don't really know his potential. We have to think about this, guys. The man is only 28 years old. He's still young in his career. He's obviously constantly evolving. He trained with Alex Okonovsky and Craig Jones at Freestyle MMA. Of course, he's got a great coaching staff as well at Scrappy MMA over there in Perth. This guy is just improving. This guy is just improving. And now look at this. So DC asks JDM in the ring about what he thinks about fighting Islam Makhachev. You got to love it, man. This guy is basically the Australian Robbie Lawler. He's a man of few words, but when he says it, it's got meaning behind him. Have a look at what he has to say here.
It's a beautiful challenge. He's pound for pound number 1. I'm going to get him back for Volk.
There you go. Beautiful challenge. I'm going to get him back for Volk. So the narrative continues. Obviously, him and Alex Okonovsky worked together for him to prepare for this fight. And now JDM wants to get him back for Alex Volkanovski. And this is the thing that makes the Islam Makhachev fight so interesting. Belal Muhammad and his game plan, while he is not as dangerous and he isn't as much of a finisher as an Islam Makhachev, we obviously still have to see what Islam at 170 looks like. The guy is the pound for pound best fighter in the world. He's not going to be cutting as much weight. So it's going to be fascinating to see if that adds to his power, speed, the wrestling, if he's going to be able to do more of it. There's a lot of questions. But you got to feel good about this matchup. Seeing JDM be able to stop Belal and shut down his wrestling, shut down the control that Belal usually has had, and his entire career over everyone, JDM was able to do that. He was able to implement his game plan. And obviously against Islam Makhachev, the game plan changes slightly. There's going to be different variations. You're not going to be able to end up in some of the same positions that you don't want Islam to get you back at all. Or it's going to be interesting to see how the striking matches up. But you got to think that there is a real path, and I'm going to say it right now, folks. There is a real path here for JDM to go out in Perth. If the pay-per-view is going to be in Perth in September, like what people are saying, there's nothing official, but let's say that's the case. Islam fights down and fights at welterweight, right? There's a real scenario here where JDM could have a shot at beating Islam Makhachev. I'm telling you right now, after this win that JDM just had over Belal Muhammad, you cannot discount him in this fight with Islam Makhachev. Now, is Islam one of the greatest UFC champions of all time? Absolutely. Is this going to be a battle? Are we going to see JDM be challenged? Is this more of a challenge for JDM than Belal Muhammad? Yes. But I will tell you right now that after what we saw today, UFC 315, JDM stepping up to the plate, JDM implementing his game plan to perfection, JDM, a 28-year-old JDM who's constantly improving, being able to do that, you have to ask what happens if he's able to keep this fight standing with Islam Makhachev. What happens if this becomes a striking battle? There's different variations, obviously, on this. Islam Makhachev is moving up from 155, so we've got our questions about how strong is he? What does he look like at 170? Does he lose that strength and size advantage that he had at 155, and how does that impact him? That's going to be a fascinating question. JDM is a big welterweight. Did you guys see it when he fought Belal? I'm like, whoa, this guy is actually much bigger than what we realized. It's JDM versus Islam Makhachev. Now, in the interim, what do we do with that lightweight title? Well, we've got Ilia Topuria likely fighting Charles Oliveira. Ilia Topuria likely fighting Charles Oliveira at UFC 317 in a fight that I think we can all agree is likely going to be won by Ilia Topuria. Islam Makhachev doesn't want to vacate the belt, so we'll see what happens with that one. But you would think that if Islam goes up and fights JDM, win or lose, if Ilia Topuria goes out UFC 317, those guys will be fighting afterwards at lightweight, with potentially Islam Makhachev being a double champ. So it's an interesting situation right here, but you can't deny the fact that JDM was able to do something that no one was able to do before him. Think about that. Belal Muhammad, for everybody at home who might not give him the credit that he deserves, Belal Muhammad was virtually unbeatable in the UFC. He was virtually unbeatable. He lost to Jeff Neal in 2019. He lost to Vicente Luque in 2016. But outside of that, from Leon Edwards to Damian Maia to Stephen Thompson to Sean Brady to Gilbert Burns, none of these guys could beat him. None of these guys could beat him. As a matter of fact, he destroyed Leon Edwards. He pieced him up and destroyed him. He stopped Sean Brady. And we saw what Sean Brady did to Leon Edwards. So JDM was able to do that against Belal Muhammad. It is an impressive feat. Congratulations to JDM. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below who wins between JDM and Islam Makhachev. And I don't want you to just tell me. I want to hear the method, the round, and the way it happens. This week, we've got some exciting stuff coming at you guys. Tomorrow, we've got morning after, Submission Radio's morning after with Brett Okamoto and Sean Sheen. We will be going detail by detail about what is next with JDM and Islam Makhachev, how that fight looks, reviewing the night before, talking about UFC 315, Jose Aldo basically getting misused and abused by the UFC and now retiring rather than coming back and having significantly important fights and going on a Legends tour, ends up getting put up against the dumbest matchup. So we'll talk about it all. Valentina Shevchenko winning, of course. Close fight, she won. Congratulations to her. But the welterweight division right now, folks, that is where the conversation's going to be. The lightweight division right now. Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. It looks like we have some fun things to discuss. Of course, subscribe. Please subscribe. Please like this video. And I'll see you guys for all the big videos coming up in the next couple of days. Thank you so much, everybody, for their support. I see all your comments. I appreciate you all. Please make sure if you are looking for it, Manscaped, go to manscaped.com, code word submission, gets you a big discount and free shipping. And of course, make sure to please like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you guys soon.